Welcome everyone. This is now the introduction number 2 with regard to why diets do not work. The name of our organization is called Diet Busters, and the reason we decided to start it is because the whole diet industry, it's just made up of a whole bunch of propaganda and the rubbish that they feed you, and they bank on the fact that everyone is like your self-esteem takes a knock, because what happens is when you go on a diet and you will lose weight. Every diet works in its own form. Even if you just stick to one food group, but the problem with diets is that they allow they cut out certain food groups that your body needs. So when you come off the diet, the first thing you do is you pick up the weight you lost and some, and that's the bonus. All right. So we're going to take you through. There's a series of 5 introductions. They're all free, and if you'd like to join our call it our diet tribe, you just let us know, and our contact details are at the end of the introduction. Alright, weight loss diets that I've tried. Thought you might be interested in these. I had an avocado diet, and this avocado diet was you had 2 meals, breakfast and lunch, just avocado, and dinner time you would have avocado with a little piece of meat. And then you probably think, but avocado is absolutely fabulous, it must have been great. Well, let me tell you, it took about 2 years before I could look at anything green again. Alright, any diet, if you restrict your calories or restrict and only have one food group, of course you're going to lose weight, but your body's going to miss out on other nutrients. Alright, the next one, I tried the high protein, low fat, low carb, right? Oh my goodness gracious. This is first of all very, very unhealthy for you. If you're going to go on a high protein diet, that means your proteins and it'll be your meat and your fish and eggs and stuff like that. It's a very, very quick rapid weight loss, but the problem is you've left out essential food groups, and you're going to get sick. It takes all sorts of, it puts pressure on your organs, on your internal organs. So a high protein diet is very, very dangerous for your health. I then went on, because everybody's heard about the grapefruit diet, and all you've got to do is you can just have a grapefruit before any meal, and you can eat whatever you like. Absolute nonsense. Okay, absolute nonsense. Grapefruits are really good for you. They've got lots of good vitamin C, but it's absolute nonsense. You can't keep on eating a whole lot of junk food as long as you quantify it by having a grapefruit before you do that. Then I went on the orange formula. Oh my goodness, this is the first time that I heard of having a shake in like as a meal replacement. And the orange formula was orange juice, freshly squeezed orange juice, good for you because it's vitamin C, and then raw eggs in it. So I had the energy that I needed, but oh my goodness, to swallow this stuff. And this was for also 2 meal replacements a day, and then we would have our dinner at night time. Oh dear, lost weight. Of course I lost weight. Went back into proper eating, picked up the weight. Alright, Slim U Slim, this was a program that we had up in Zim, and it used to work on the point system, much like Weight Watchers does, and on the point system, and the first thing, my mom was on it with me, and the first thing she found out was that a beer was 10 points and a pie was 15 points. So she figured if she only drank half a beer and a whole pie, she could stick within her 20 points for the day. This is not teaching you a proper way to eat. Alright, and then as I told you it was the early 80s, whenever I took these fiber tablets, and looks like tables, I'll have to retype that, the fiber, and what it did, it makes you feel full, and it actually enlarges your intestines. It's just really, really crazy. Alright, then I went on to Weigh Less. This is heavily calorie restricted, lost weight over a 6-month period, stopped it, picked that up and some. And then the Weight Watchers, which is very, very low fat. Now there's some fats that we actually need. In order to lose weight, you need to be eating certain fats. So you can't just cut out all fat. Alright, this is World Stats. I think you're going to love this. Since 1960, obesity has increased by 400%. This is worldwide. 400%. Alright, currently there's 30% of the world's population that's obese, but by 2030 it'll be 58% of the world population that's going to be obese. An average woman in the States is 5'4" tall, and she weighs 140 pounds, which is 63 kgs. Now this is where the wheels have come off. This is why we're all so messed up. Because the average US model is 5'11", and she weighs 53 kgs. Now, how can you look at a model and you look at the stuff in the magazines and think, oh, I'd like to look like that? It's ridiculous. There's no ways that it's even healthy to be that height and that weight. All right, 80% of the US women do not like how they look, and I think pretty much in South Africa we pretty much on par with that. There's $109 million spent every single day on weight loss products in the States. 50 million Americans go on diet every year. 50 million. This is a multi-billion industry. Do you think they're going to give us the truth about all the crap information they're feeding us? Right, I love this stat. There are 1.8 billion obese people compared to 1 million starving people. Hey, just look at those stats. 1 million starving people, but 1.8 billion obese people. South African stats. 74 people think that their fellow citizens are fat. 74%. While there's only 34% that think of themselves as fat. All right, 56% of women and 29% of men are obese. That's not just a little bit overweight, that is obese. By the year 2025, every second or third overweight, this is in South Africa, overweight woman will develop type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes is your resistance to insulin. Okay, that's directly linked to sugar, and that's where I'm going with this program. Okay, so now, in a nutshell, out of every 100 people that lose weight, only 5 will keep it off for longer than 2 years. Okay, I don't know what the stats are after 2 years, but it's only 5 after 2 years. I've listed every single diet, well, not every single diet, a hell of a lot of diets. Then I ran out of space. Diets that I actually found on the internet. You can go onto the internet, you can find anything on Google that you could imagine. And I've listed all these diets, Alkaline Atkins baby food diet, and I'm going to just cover a couple of them for you, just to show you how absolutely ridiculous this diet industry is. All right, let's talk about fad diets. First one, Atkins diet. Okay, this is much like the Cambridge diet, which is high protein. Atkins diet has been around for absolute yonks. Okay, high protein, very, very dangerous unless you eat lots and lots of vegetables with it. But what people tend to do is have a piece of meat and then have an egg and then have another piece of meat. And as I said to you earlier, it puts so much strain on your internal organs. So yes, you might lose a hell of a lot of weight quickly, but the moment you start and eat a balanced diet, you're going to pick that up as well. Cabbage soup. This is the quickest now. If anybody is listening and if you're looking for a quick weight loss program, okay, this is the cabbage soup one. But let me promise you this. Go on this, and in 7 days, you probably will drop about 5 kgs. Okay, but the very first meal you have after that, you're going to pick up those 5 kgs, and then the next day, you're going to pick up your 6 kg. I promise you that for an actual fact. Okay, they've got the caveman diet. They say, eat the way the caveman ate. Now, the caveman, because of, think about it, they lived in a cave. They had to kill animals. So basically, it was quite a, if they could get a bit of meat, it was sort of protein-based, and they had some veggies, maybe some salad-y type stuff, but there's a lot of other things we do in this modern day and age that we can't just eat the way the caveman ate, because we're going to miss lots and lots of really important nutrients and stuff. All right, there's a flat belly diet. Okay, that's the one I would love to go, because I've only picked up weight. I'm carrying my weight now around my middle, not on the rest of my body. And they talk about monounsaturated fats, the MUFAs. Okay, I agree with this to a certain degree, but in this diet book, they're saying as long as you have one monounsaturated fat, in other words, one MUFA with each meal, and I'll explain to you, we've got olives as a MUFA, and nuts as a MUFA, and seeds as a MUFA, and they're saying just have one of those with every meal, and you'll lose that belly fat. Absolute nonsense. For all that stuff is good for you, the monounsaturated fat is good for you, it's not going to miraculously move your belly fat. Definitely not. Okay, the Kind diet, I quite like this one. Actually, this is a vegan vegetarian diet. So the Kind diet is, in other words, you don't kill anything to eat it. You actually just eat the stuff that falls off the trees or pick it, dig it out the ground. Baby food diet. My goodness, 14 jars of baby food per day. Can you imagine what this is going to do to your internal organs? There's going to be no roughage. You're going to be sitting, oh no, baby food, really? Okay, Herbalife. I don't agree with replacing a meal that you need to chew. I don't believe in replacing it with a shake. Okay, because your body needs, I've always thought that the chewing is actually foreplay for your stomach to digest the stuff, okay, to convert it into energy. And the moment you replace it with a shake, yes, a lot of people have lost a lot of weight on Herbalife, and they replace 2 meals and eat properly for the next meal. But by the time you get, so let's say you replace your breakfast and lunch, by the time you get to dinner time, okay, you are so starving for something to chew, you're going to overeat. That's an absolute fact, you're going to overeat. Next diet down is a 3-hour diet. Now this doesn't seem so bad. bad, because what it's encouraging you to do is to eat every 3 hours, and kind of that's the path I'm on as well. But they don't give you the information to say this is what you should be eating every 3 hours. You shouldn't be, your body should never go into a starvation mode. So the 3-hour principle is okay, but they still got to give you the right information as to what you should be eating. Then there's the negative calorie diet, and they've got a theory that if you eat, so let's say a cucumber is, let's go with points for the want of a better word, is 8, or let's go with calories. Let's say a cucumber is 8 calories, okay. But what they're saying is, in order to digest a cucumber, you have to use up 28 calories. So they're saying, in a nutshell, that actually if you eat something that uses up more calories to digest than the worth and the value of the thing, that's the way to go. Okay, there's no proof behind it whatsoever, and nobody can prove that a cucumber would actually would actually burn up 28 calories to digest. Okay, it's nonsense. Okay, let's talk about surgery, because this is my favorite one. Now, because of your self-image, right? And we already know as women, our self-image, especially if we're struggling with our weight, it takes a knock a little bit. Now imagine what a knock it must take to self-image to go to a doctor and say, you've got to wire my jaw because I can't trust myself not to overeat. Really, we need a little bit of psychological help with that, hey? Alright, stomach stapling. They actually operate, but this is a big operation that they go in, and they make your stomach, which by the way is only the size of your fist anyway, and they go and they staple it smaller. Really? So you can't eat as much? Dear God. Alright, lap band. This is also a big surgery that they go in, and instead of stapling your stomach, they take the size of your stomach and they put a lackey band around it to make it smaller. Now all I can think of is when I was sterilized, I know your fallopian tubes, they put a lackey band around them, and then the tubes eventually they go fraught and they die, and then you can't have any more babies. Now what about this lap band? You got this giant silicone band around your stomach. Won't it make it go fraught? Oh no, man. Alright, liposuction. All I know about lipos, I've seen it on TV, and the way they've got this jolly thing which looks like the thickness of a pen, and they go and they dig it into you in 24 different places. Let's say you want to liposuction your bum, and they put it in, and they suck out all the fat, and then you see all this fat in a jar somewhere, and apparently it's incredibly sore. Alright, intragastric balloon. This is a stomach balloon. So what they do is they actually make you swallow this thing, right? And it goes out into your stomach, and there it is. It's attached somewhere in your mouth, I suppose, because otherwise how are they going to know? And what they do is they blow it up. They make it like to make your tummy feel full. Okay, they put a stomach balloon in. Oh dear. Stomach bypass. The fact that surgeons will go in and they will operate and they will make your digestive system bypass your stomach. Actually, it doesn't bypass your stomach. They call it a stomach bypass, but it bypasses your small intestines. Now, the small intestines are there for a reason. They're there because they aid in digesting stuff, and they have a job. Okay, they have a job. It astounds me that any surgeon these are medical practitioners that would agree to do something so. No, it's ridiculous, man. Alright, there's apparently the removal of lower ribs, alright, is Cher had this done so that she can have this hourglass figure. And then you think, no, but the ribs are also there for a reason. Why would you go and remove them, hey? So here are our contact details. You're welcome to contact us. And in fact, I would love if you would contact us, and let's turn this industry upside down. Let's not allow them to feed us full of all the nonsense they've been feeding us with, and let us go onto a sensible eating plan that you actually can reduce your weight and be healthy and keep your weight off.